The Caretaker stands as a classic tragicomedy play crafted by Harold Pinter. Premiered in 1960, it marked Pinter's initial commercial success on the theatrical stage. This three-act play delves into the dynamics of power, loyalty, and the corruption of innocence as they impact a solitary drifter and two brothers he encounters. The work holds a pivotal place as Pinter's sixth creation, reflecting his signature focus on psychological depth that resonates profoundly in the realm of theater. Notably, his exceptional contributions to screenwriting, playwriting, and poetry earned him the prestigious 2005 Nobel Prize for Literature, solidifying his status as one of the most influential playwrights in the modern era. The play centers around three primary characters: Aston, residing in a dwelling owned by his brother Mick, and Davies, an elder man leading a transient existence. Aston bears the remnants of a past electric shock treatment, resulting in brain damage that isolates him and fuels his yearning for companionship. This vulnerability makes him susceptible to exploitation by those with ulterior motives. In stark contrast, Mick possesses a short fuse and ambitious aspirations. He tolerates Aston's presence due to the lack of alternatives, despite his impatience with him. Mick harbors grand ambitions, but lacks the perseverance to realize them, leaving him perpetually unsatisfied. Davies operates by deceit and embellishment, tailoring his narrative to suit his company and manipulate their sentiments in his favor. The play unfolds with Aston inviting Davies into his home, an act of kindness prompted by Aston's intervention in a bar altercation. Davies' initial reaction is to criticize the state of the residence, deeming it neglected and messy. Aston's efforts to find suitable clothing for Davies are thwarted by the disorderliness. Despite his intention to swiftly proceed to Sidcup, London, to secure identity papers, Davies agrees to stay the night and embark on his journey the following morning. Subsequently, Aston offers Davies the opportunity to remain in the flat while he attends to his own errands, setting the stage for the intricate interactions that propel the plot forward. Davies finds himself unaccustomed to this level of trust from Aston and is poised to exploit it to his advantage, temporarily delaying his journey to Sidcup. Seizing the opportunity, he rummages through Aston's belongings in search of valuables, yet refrains from theft due to Mick's unexpected arrival. Mick, mistakenly perceiving Davies as an intruder, triggers a physical altercation. Davies manages to elucidate the situation, a narrative that Aston corroborates. Unlike Aston, Mick, perceptive in his assessment of Davies, recognizes the potential for trouble. Mick senses the manipulation Davies might be capable of, noting his proclivity for complaining about the state of the flat and the inadequacy of the available clothing, despite his homeless status. It becomes evident that Davies is settling in, displaying no intention of embarking on his intended journey to Sidcup. Just as Davies grapples with the impossibility of reaching Sidcup, Aston confronts the hindrances, preventing him from completing a garden workshop, while Mick's aspirations for a life-changing opportunity remain perpetually out of reach. The shared theme of unfulfilled potential and misfortune binds the characters together, allowing them to find common ground amid their individual setbacks. Aston, desiring Davies to remain, devises a solution to their problems. He arranges for Davies to assume the role of a caretaker, responsible for the refurbishment of the flat. At first, Davies resists the offer, apprehensive that his true identity might be uncovered. He claims to be living under an alias. He perpetuates the notion of a mysterious and dangerous existence, yet ultimately acquiesces to the caretaker position. Mick stipulates the necessity of references, requiring Davies to obtain his identity papers from Sidcup. The plan for references underscores Mick's practicality, even as no one is enthusiastic about pursuing the task. Mick outlines the eventual need for references while propelling Davies to begin working without delay. With the realization that Davies will likely never journey to Sidcup, his place within the flat seems secure. However, as Davies settles into his role, he resorts to mocking Aston's perceived lack of productivity and alleged laziness. In his remarks, he alludes to Aston's brain damage without explicitly mentioning it. Mick becomes infuriated by Davies' arrogance and admonishes him to not overestimate his position. Aston proceeds to recount his own past mistreatment and asserts his intention to confront the doctor once he completes the shed, a task he repeatedly avoids. The conflict between Aston and Davies escalates, with neither yielding. Frustrations mount until Aston reaches a breaking point and demands that Davies depart. Aston acknowledges their inability to coexist harmoniously and criticizes Davies for exploiting the generosity he extended on the night they met. Unfazed by Aston's words, Davies presumes Mick will support his stance, given his perceived competence in caring for the flat. To Davies' astonishment, Mick aligns himself with his brother, instructing Davies to vacate the premises immediately. Despite Davies' protests and entreaties for forgiveness, Aston remains resolute in his decision. Davies exits the flat and observes the brothers from the garden, only to find himself barred from re-entry. As he watches, a brief exchange of smiles passes between the brothers, hinting at the possibility of a strengthened bond emerging from the dramatic encounter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.